everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So today I am going to show you the first project for those of you that are in Card Club. If you're not in Card Club, then you'll get to hear a little bit about it. But before I do that, I just wanted to remind you that I have opened my registration for my online class for Waves of the Ocean. These are not projects that we will make, but the good thing is once you have the packet, and you have the stamps and the dies, you'd be able to recreate these at home. So these are ones that are already up. You may have caught them. This one has a fun little, like, kind of like if you're looking out of a ship. And then this one's a fun little fun fold. And then this one is one where I wanted to show both sides of the super fun paper. So this is open for registration. So I will put the links for everything underneath the video, or if you're in my email, then you'll just get all that. So then my Card Club, it's my favorite thing I do every month. So it's also the cheapest thing I do every month because I like my Card Club girls to get extra perks. In fact, they can get $5 off the retreat that I have coming up. So you get little perks, you get some free stuff every 6 months that you're part of the club. On the 7th month, you get a goodie bag valued at over $25. So that's fun. So you just have to stay in for 6 continuous months. It's not six months where you jump in and out, because that's too much for my little brain and my little spreadsheet to track. So what it is you sign up via PayPal subscriptions. You do not have to have a PayPal account. They just take your payment information. It's super safe. That's why I go with PayPal. And then the day that you pay, if you paid today, then every month on this day you would get billed. You have to be in a club by the 10th, which is the same as Paper Pumpkin. That's why I went with that day of the month to get that month. So if you wanted to start this month, you have to subscribe by the 10th. And then every month, $38, the cheapest class I do, because you get it almost all back in product and then shipping, because unfortunately the shipping takes a lot of it. But every month you get a packet of embellishments. So this month you're getting the Rhinestone Waves, Basic Jewels, and then you get a full spool of ribbon, and this month they're getting the linen thread. And then you get the 6 envelopes, you get the supplies to make 6 projects. We do 3 designs, 2 of each. Because I do lots of alternates. So that way, if you want to do 3 and save 3 for alternates, and then we also Zoom together, where we can put some more alternates together. Then this month you're getting 2 papers. How fun is this? So you're getting a half a pack of the Waves of the Ocean, and they're always just cut like this. And then you're also getting a half a pack of the blue foils. And both of these are part of the Waves of the Ocean. All of this is the suite itself didn't come with any ribbon. And this looks nice and nautical. So you get that, you get this, you get a little treat every month, and then you get all of your supplies that are cut and ready to go. Now you do not need a die cut machine to be in my Card Club. In fact, I always choose sets that don't have dies with them. So it's not even like, oh no, she's forcing me to get a die cut machine. If there's any dies or punches on the card, they come to you ready, and you're going to see that on today's card. But each month there is a focus set. So this month is Oceanfront. If you want it, you can add it, and I pick up shipping and handling and tax. So all you pay is whatever it says in the catalog that Oceanfront costs, and I don't know what that is this month. So every month they can opt in or out of the set. So if you're in club and you want Oceanfront, I will be sending you the link to sign up for that. So this is a really fun set. It does coordinate with On the Horizons, which the paper for that is what we had last month. So you'll be able to kind of interchange these. This is a really fun set, and I can't wait to do the other cards. I didn't know which one to put for y'all to see, because I'm really excited to use it. It's so much fun to create scenes, and this is a scene creating stamp set. And then they can also add on a adhesive bundle whenever they're low on adhesives. Again, I pick up the shipping and handling and tax, and you just get it stuck in there. It just has to ship with your club. And then every month I do lots of alternates. So if you don't get the Oceanfront set, there will be other ones. And I always choose a floral, and then we have a permanent alternate set, which is color and contour, which right now is on back order, but it'll come back soon. So this would be like you would get your stuff and you would have the things to make 2 of these. Now I've already made one, so there's just one left. So you can see you have the fence and the birds that are from Waves of the Ocean. And then you've got your other supplies. And then you have to cut your own smaller pieces down. So let's go with the stamping first. I have found that Waves of the Ocean works much better if you have something underneath you to stamp. So I have it all stacked up here because I have a bunch of projects going at one time. So we are going to just build the scene because that's what this one does. So let's start with Sahara Sand, because sand, it's easy to pick which color you might want to use with this one when you have Sahara Sand. So I'm going to use this one. It can be, we'll probably use it for a cloud later, but for this one, it's going to be our ground. So I'm going to start with the Sahara Sand, and this is Vellum. So the Vellum will take a little bit to dry. And the more humid it is where you live, the longer it may take to dry. So I'm going to put it like this, and I'm going to build the scene. So I chose Vellum for this card because I want to be able to show the paper through the background. And I kind of messed with it for a little bit. Now that is not enough sand because we want a much bigger beach. So I'm going to just kind of angle this down like that. And then I'll do one that's kind of flat here. And then we'll go back in here and kind of fill this in. I'm going to go backwards. So we have that fun little, now we have our beach. Now let's do our water. So for our water, I'm going to use Pacific Point. Now if you're in club, you can kind of look at the colors that are in the Waves of the Ocean paper, and those will be ones obviously we'll be using because they match. But they're like all the blues, any of the browns. Like I could have used Crumb Cake for that. But Pacific Point is a color I don't use very often, so you might not all have it. I also think that it is currently on an orderable. They're having the foam has a supply issue right now. So to make the stamp pads, they have to wait for the foam. So stamp this. Isn't that fun and so easy to do? It's so easy to do. Now we need our sky. So for sky, I'm going to choose the big square one, and I'm going to go with Balmy Blue. It kind of, on these kind of scene building, it kind of writes itself. So let's do the Balmy Blue and get our sky, and we can just put it right so they kind of overlap. You don't want a gap in between them. I'm going to put this on the white so you can see it a little bit better. Isn't that fun? And you can also see that it is wet, especially these places where they've overlapped. It's a little wet because vellum does take a little bit longer to dry. And then let's add, there's only one more thing we need to, one more thing that we need to add. I have Granny Green up, but I didn't end up using it, Granny Apple Green. I'm gonna add in Espresso. It could be black, it could be any of the darker colors. You could do this in green if you wanted, but I'm gonna do these fun little seaside plants. Get those two there. So let's put our card together, and then I'm gonna let this sit by itself and dry it a little bit. If you are doing it at home, you can wave it, you can hit it with your heat gun, or you can just sit it here and move on to something else and come back. It won't take very long, but I don't know if you can see, it's still shiny right there. So I wanna try not to touch it. So for this one, they have a half a sheet of white, and then come back in a couple of days, I will do an alternate project where I don't use the Oceanfront stamp set, and then you'll be able to see how you can get other ideas. So they have the white, and then they would need to go, if you're in Card Club, grab your foils, and you can choose any of the colors. For this one, I went with blue, and it is cut, I think it's about a ½ inch. I'll have it in your instructions when I send it to you. Let's go with Stampin' Seal. And then just add a couple of layers of that. So I'm gonna do the foil first, and I want it to go the full length of my card and almost to the edge. I want a slight border of white. Turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So just like that, and then I can just trim this with my stickers. And then this is a 1 by 5.5 piece of paper. And really any of the blue designs would work. In fact, you could probably also change it and have it be one of the yellow designs. So I'm putting this just so it barely overlaps. Just like that. And it's not quite to the top, but that's okay. So we got that. Just gonna turn this over. This is also the only class that I do where there's not a video option. You're all or nothing in Card Club. So we have this. And then they also are gonna get a piece of our sticky sheets, and it's cut 5.5. Actually, yours will be cut 6. So you have a little bit of spare to use for something else. But you know, it's hard to put vellum on a card where the adhesive doesn't show through. And with this one, like there's no place really to hook it. So we're just gonna hook the whole thing. Plus, if you have a lot of adhesive, then where it's pressed on, you can kind of see that piece of paper a little bit better. So with the sticky adhesive sheets, they're normally used for, I've used them in a couple of different ways recently, as not intended. So you have a sticky side and then the back side, because they're for your die cuts. And I'm gonna put it just in the middle of this. So they make stickers out of your die cut, so it makes it a whole lot easier to adhere your dies when you want them flat to your card, because we're gonna put some images on here, and one would be a good case that you could use them at home if you were making it. The other one, I want there to be some lift. Press it on there nice and small. When it runs through the cut and emboss machine, it does stick a whole lot better. So you can see, you just pull that up. And now we have a whole strip of sticky. So it's gonna show underneath, but it's gonna show underneath in a way that we want it to. I'm gonna try not to touch any place that looks like it's still wet. I'm gonna just go over the edge of my blue. This is cut 4 by like a little less than 5, I think. Again, you'll have your measurements in your class. So I want it here. And then I'm not gonna be able to press it before oh, it's not too terribly wet. See, when you press it, which I will be able to do when it dries all the way, you can see the paper behind it better. I won't get my hands all dirty. Just started the day. I'll show you on my other one how you can see better, because once it was dry, I did go back and press it on all the way. Then they also have these die cuts. So they'll have 2 birds, one for each card, and then they'll have 2 fences. So for the fence, I took the linen thread that comes in your kit, and you just need a little piece. Now we're not going to tie a ribbon on this card because I wanted it to be, well, it's either half or nothing. I don't know if half's enough. I don't think it is. So I took this. Have your fine tip glue ready. You can use green glue too if you want. I much prefer fine tip glue because it comes out with fine tip and it's not quite as messy. So just take this. We're gonna make it look like we have some stuff that's washed up on the beach. Just kind of wrap it around. It doesn't all hold at first. It's not gonna hold till it's stuck to your card, but that's okay. Because you don't want it to even be perfect. You want it to look like it literally washed up from the beach. So I'm gonna hold it like this, but it's still gonna doing a little bit because this glue doesn't dry instantly. So if you used adhesive strips on this particular piece of die cut, you're not gonna get the dimension that we want. I wanted the fence to have a little bit of movement to it. See if I can do it left-handed. So as you take it over, you can put it on the fence post, but then also make sure you're catching some of the twine in there as well, the linen thread. And then just put it where it doesn't have to be anywhere perfect, which is good because it's how I'm holding this. Now before it's all set, you can take your pick or your scissors. Just kind of move this around. I can pull this one up to the top. You just kind of mess with it. they're all going to look different because it's just going to depend on how it kind of fell. And it takes the glue a second to set. So let's lay this here so we can go on to something else. Then you have one bird for each card. Add just a tiny bit of glue to this one. So one card will have a little bit bigger of a bird than the other. Oops, my fingers are sticky from the other. Maybe start with your bird and then your fingers aren't sticky. And then we're gonna add our rhinestones. Now I wanted it to kind of look like they were stars or the moon. If you're giving it to a guy, maybe you go with one of the Pacific Point ones up here. So it's kind of like the sun, the moon. Or if you're like me and you just like lots of rhinestones, I'm gonna go with the colors that we've kind of used that are in the paper, but I don't want the green. There is green in this paper. So there's my big one. And I'm gonna put 5 because 3 is not quite enough. So I've got the Pacific Point and then I'm gonna get the balmy blue. Easy decision because those are the colors I went with in the ink and they're also in the paper. Got those on. Let's see how we're doing on sticking this down. Yeah, it's mostly stuck. So there you are. I will show you the other card where this is pressed down a little bit better. So here's the other one. You can see it's all dry now. I mean, vellum does dry, it just takes it a minute. And everywhere here where there was the sticky strip, it kind of just has that illusion of kind of wet. It's a really pretty card, really fun to make, and it's a great way to tie these two sets together. And the next one's gonna be nautical too, and I'm so torn because I don't know. I have 3 sets I really, really wanna use as the alternate for this. So watch the next video and we'll see what I decide. The other ones will have to be saved for alternates for those of you in Card Club. But really fun. If you're interested in joining, you just have to go subscribe. And once you subscribe, then that's it. Every month it just comes to you automatic. You get the emails with the links. You get emails with the pictures and the sizes. And then you get a goodie, a loyalty gift every 6 months. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or join my email list if you're not on it, because the next email that goes out is going to be about this. And it was only going to be about this, and then Stampin' Up! Gave us a new kit. So I'll tell you a little bit about that new kit as well. Everybody have a great day. Bye.